figure out why, but can't see me? Should be able to see me. Oh, I copied the description, yeah. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. I got to messing with this stupid thing, and I can't get it to work right. I got one of these little rotating phone thingies that can keep track of you the whole time, but I can't get it to work. No, it bugs the crap out of me when I'm having technical problems, boy. I'm not any use. More than a few minutes. Oh man, we'll see. Of course it is. Like I said, I was playing with. I was gonna go live with this thing here, but I can't get it to do what I want it to do. It just keeps rotating. How's everybody doing? Yep, you guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed. We appreciate that. It really helps us out. Turn that dude off. Yeah, I suppose. I don't like having technical problems. I'm a computer guy, so if a computer guy's having problems, you know, they're serious. Let's see the microphone on my laptop. Oh yeah, see? Warm brownies in bed. It was working great. The kids were having so much fun because it'll follow you. So I would program it to follow Solomon, and he'd go all over the place, jumping up and down, and the phone would track him, and it was super cool. But ever since I charged it, it hasn't been working like itself. But don't starve. Been playing it really suck. Oh, it takes a lot of practice. That's pretty funny that you're playing it though. It's a good game. So you ever had a second ad in videos longer than 10 minutes, double ad venue? I thought about it. I thought about doing the mid-roll ads, but I don't know. It tends to make people upset, I think, and kind of feels weird, and I don't know. It seems like too many ads. But I thought about it. The ad revenue isn't near what it was when we first started, which is okay. Every little bit helps. Told your husband how to watch your boyfriend? Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. How am I doing? I don't know. I'm alright, I suppose. Yep. I made sure the delay was long enough so you would have captions. Animal Crossing, I've heard of it. I don't think they've played it. But that's funny, Joan. You have that look of not okay. Yeah. I haven't, it's been a Saturday, I suppose. Saturday. No particular reason. We'd rather not put ads it on. We didn't have ads for 4 years, but it's a much different game now. Much different game, so I'm happy to do the ads, but I don't want to do a ridiculous amount of ads. Yeah. I guess I'm missing Andrea, maybe a little. I don't know if that's it or not, though, to be honest with you. More lost, I guess. Like the garden vlogs. Is there going to be a garden this year? Yeah, I think so. We're going to plant something. It may just be a bunch of... I mean, you can't plant junk food, but you can plant a lot of corn and strawberries and stuff that, we'll eat. It's not the same as it used to be. I don't even know what Andrea did with everything, but I growing my beard again? No, not necessarily. I mean, it's a little longer than it normally is, but I generally I shave it down kind of low, and then I let it just kind of grow out for a while, and then I'll shave it low again. Just kind of how it goes. And all that stuff. Yeah, I know. I've seen people comment on that video about what I do without you. Yep, and it hits pretty hard to see it happen now, or I don't have you. I gotta adjust the size on this. That's what my problem is. I need to make that a little bigger so I can climb it away. We got a lot of strawberries in our garden. They're yummy. Oh, thank you, Aussie gal. I know she loves me. When did she find the time to edit videos? She didn't really have that a lot of time. She hardly had any time at all. I don't have any time either. What veggies would your kids eat? I have one that loves butternut squash. We are very much not terrible big veggie people. We never have been. Andrea would squeeze them in different places, and we grew all kinds of veggies in the garden, and we used them. She'd put them in soups and stews and different things, and I don't even know all she did with them, to be honest with you. But she got them into us little by little. Was Andrea a night owl? I mean, yeah, she was, because I was, and we are. And but she generally liked to go to bed about 10 o'clock or so if she had her pick. But she'd usually stay up till midnight or longer watching videos and movies and stuff together. And you just kind of become with whoever you're around. Yep, I made blueberry pancakes for dinner tonight, regardless whether they like blueberries. Solomon loves pancakes, but he doesn't want blueberry pancakes. Not because he doesn't like blueberry pancakes, just because it's new and different. And so I had to sit there and make him eat a blueberry pancake, and there were tears, but he got it ate. Everybody loves corn in this house, so that's why I said we could just grow the whole thing full of corn and call it good. Oh, that's fun, Megan. You like to read? Are you reading anything interesting right now? I always said that I do like to read, but I haven't actually seriously read in a long time. I just don't have that much time free at all. Most of my day is work or school or dinner or laundry or chores or cleaning up or attending to any one of those random issues that happen throughout the day. And then when I finally get some free time, I just don't feel like doing anything. Nothing is fun. I usually play video games and stuff, and I can't I forced myself to play video games for a little while, then I just quit because I don't want to play them, and nothing's really terribly enjoyable right now. Everything just sucks. Is that someone in the window behind you? Yep, it's a scary person. No, it's going to be a... What is it, actually? It's some kind of a reflection, or smudges on the window that are catching the street light just right, apparently. Still going to counseling? No. I mean, I would still be going, but they switched to long distance, Skype style counseling, and I just don't want to do that. That's not why I'm doing it. I mean, I can do that here with you guys and just talk to somebody. I don't. I think I need the personal contact, and so I wasn't interested in continuing at that point. When this all blows over. Can of baby carrots in the microwave with honey for a couple of minutes. My kids were not veggie eaters, but love those. Yeah, I mean, carrots are one of the things we could probably choke down. Spinach. Spinach is something that we all would eat. Judah says he likes lettuce. So we'll probably grow some spinach. Every now and then Andrea would give us salad. And so she would give us spinach from the garden and, grate some carrots up on it or something and put other random little veggies in it and put some salad dressing on it. And we would eat that on occasion. But explain why she died if you don't mind. There's actually a whole video on it. I go through the whole thing. So if you look up the channel there, it's one of the more popular videos. What Andrea Mills, what actually happened. But it basically, we brought her in because she had been having some digestive issues, and before you know it, we were in the ER, and then they took her gallbladder out. Then before you know it, they were transferring us to Denver because her liver was funny, and kept doing tests, and they decided it was some sort of cancer. They don't know what it is or where it is, but should be treatable, shouldn't be a big deal. Anyways, and then a couple of days later, they're like, you're going to die, and then she died the next day. What was that there? Talking with someone who's going through the same thing helps. Your channel has helped me. Oh, that's nice. It's a torn thing. I mean, I miss Andrea, I do. And I definitely have shed lots of tears crying about her. But I worry about my future. I worry about what's going to happen. That's mostly where most of my anxiety comes from. Do you regret taking her to the hospital? No, not at all. If she hadn't been pregnant, we could have done things a little differently and moved a little faster. Because she was pregnant, everything went really slow. We were literally sitting there for days waiting for the mail because the doctor that took her gallbladder out did a little biopsy of the liver because it looked funny, and they shipped it down, and it was like, oh, we don't do anything on the weekends, and oh yeah, and they're shipping it. We haven't got it yet. And it took like 2 or 3 days for them to get the biopsy, the slides or whatever, and then they didn't know what they were looking at, and it was frustrating. She was pregnant? Yeah, she was pregnant, yeah. That would have been our 10th baby. She was 13 weeks when that happened. Went over to 14 weeks while we were there. Never gets easier. No, thanks. Did you have a well woman physical review along with mammograms? The type that she had, there was no there's no, you can't tell there's no lumps, that sort of a thing. Can't catch it on the mammogram. The kids mention Andrea often. I don't know if they mention her. We talk about her on occasion. Mom would have done this, or Mom does this, or where does Mom keep that? I think she did this. Those types of things. And some of the kids get sad. Solly gets sad sometimes, and Sophia gets sad sometimes. I think Thomas is still kind of sad. The other thing sat there for a while. Maybe I'll get it to work right. What would you like in a new wife? I don't know. I'm not sure that's a good question to answer. Everybody's going to say that's what they are. I don't know. God-fearing woman is the most important thing, I guess. But one point of the children know how sick Andrea was. At the same time we did. We didn't really know. I mean, we were just going to be in the hospital. She's going to be fine. All the time, she saw several specialists, 4 or 5 different specialists, and all said, "Oh, she's going to be okay. This isn't life-threatening. You know, we'll get through this. It'll be all right, and figure out what's going on." And they said that lots of times. Not life-threatening. Not a big deal. You know, and that's what we told the kids. We're just going down there. They're going to get her checked out, make sure she's okay, and that sort of a thing. And then all of a sudden it was really serious. And it was like, you're going to die within 24 hours. And that's what it was. So, do they watch the old vlogs of her? I imagine we all will at some point, but none of us have really a desire to. I forced myself to, and there was a while there I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the live dinners, and then I just don't now. I watch a video randomly from time to time. Sometimes people will comment on an old video and draw my attention to something, and so then I'll watch it. Claudia will watch videos a lot. She'll watch her own birthdays, several times, and she enjoys that and seeing herself. Well, hey, Holly. I'm all right. Helping people ask questions about her death or distracting conversation be more helpful. It doesn't make a difference. It's all distraction. Did she know she was going to die? By the time they told us that she was going to die, she was fairly out of it. In fact, when they told us that she's going to die, the other doctors weren't going to say anything. Some other doctor we had never seen basically came in and told us, "Hey, look, we're loving with you. She's going to die." And then he told the whole story and then left. And Andrea's like, "Well, we're going to go home and get herbs and get better." And so, "No, Andrea, he just said you're going to die." I'm like, "No, he didn't. Bring him back in here." And so I had to bring him back in. He had to say it again. That's when she said, "Well, I'm not going to die in Denver." That's when we tried to get her home. I'm glad you made it, Holly. Think you will go to counseling? I was going to counseling, but when this coronavirus thing started, they switched to long distance stuff, and I'm not interested in doing that. So, Have you dreamt of her? A couple times. Couple times. Was she out of it because of the meds? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because eventually she stopped getting the meds so frequently and she started waking up. And that's my biggest regret is we actually went to the other hospital to try and get meds because like the pain's going to be so bad, she's going to be unbearable, and we couldn't get pain medication because there was a mix-up and the home health agency couldn't get the medication. So we went to checked into the ER on the way home so they could give her some of the medication. And that's when they gave her a really big dose, which basically put her into a coma, basically. And she never came out of it again. So that's the part I regret. I should have just not given her any more pain pills and just, because she was starting to do better. She wasn't in quite as much pain. Pictures easier to look at than Andrea? No, it's all hard. It's all hard. Well, was it Pastor Bob? I take some disagreement with you on that, but I appreciate the sentiment. One day or another, one way or another, we're all going to be there in 100 years. So we'll all be dead and we'll get to be there. So I know that'll happen. Once you decide to tell YouTube about everything that was going on. Oh, we were in the waiting room. We were in her room, and we were just sitting there, not doing anything. And some guy came in to give us an update every now and then of how much the bill was going to be, and it was going to be an insane amount. It was up to like $50,000 or something, and we hadn't even been there very long, and we were getting freaked out. And someone said we should do a GoFundMe, and I said, well, I should just go live, tell people about the GoFundMe, and tell people about what's going on with Andrea, and just kind of give them an update. And decided that was a good idea, and so that's when we went live right from the room there. And I don't even remember those. I won't want to watch. I don't want to watch those. I can't watch the times where we were actually in the hospital. I don't know that I'll ever watch them. Can't watch them. Why would you tell her she was going to die? I don't understand that. You don't think you should tell people they're going to die? I think that'd be a terrible thing. The only person who doesn't know they're going to die is themselves. No, I fundamentally disagree. The doctor came in and told us. I think it's their responsibility to tell you, in fact. I think they can get in trouble if they don't. So, hey, Julie. Hannah is pretty cute. Brother Robert. I made that mistake before. Hey, Grape Tomato Girl. Good to see you. Well, thank you, Kim. I certainly appreciate it. I think it has to be that she wasn't supposed to go home. She wanted to die here. She gave birth here and lived here. We had church here, school here, which is why she wanted to die here. But perhaps that was going to be a bad reason for one reason or another. So God didn't allow that to happen. Well, I'm glad they helped Jennifer. I don't understand. I know that it helped me at the time. I was freaking out, still freaking out. You know, you think you get your life figured out. Thank you, Carol. Made the chicken and it was awesome. Well, I'm glad. It was pretty tasty. Where was she when she died? She was in Gillette. She's about 30 miles west of here in a hospice place. Misunderstood what I was saying. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry, Marge. I didn't. You don't know what you were saying. I apologize. I just read what you wrote. We're not upset at you or anything. But it sounded like you were saying that I shouldn't have. It sounded like you said, "Why would you tell her she was going to die?" I didn't understand what you were saying. You should clarify if that's what you were doing. Oh, hey, Katie. Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. But I'm not hungry. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate the prayers. I feel bad for Marge. I'm not sure how I interpreted her message wrong. I definitely did, apparently. I don't know what she meant to say, but I feel bad that I hurt her feelings. Any of it make you want more or less health care? We never wanted much health care. If you guys have followed this channel any length of time, you know we're not huge doctor people. We think people go to the doctor way too frequently. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go to the doctor. It's not what I mean at all. I just mean you don't need to go so frequently. Yeah, the kids like quesadillas. Wyoming opening back up, we should be. I mean, if you knew what I mean, you're not from Wyoming, so you don't know, but Wyoming is definitely the kind of state that'd be like, screw you all, we'll open up anyways. It made me sad that we weren't the first state to do that. I think it was South Carolina, right? We haven't ever really closed down. There's definitely the church thing, and lots of businesses are closed, but Becca read Marge's comment and read it the same way. I feel bad. I'm not sure how I was supposed to take that, but I think we hurt her feelings. I did not mean that. When do you think you'll start dating again? When I find somebody to date, I suppose. In her life, she will never accept a bad diagnosis and giving up on God's healing. Nothing wrong with not quitting. You ever find the cheese you were looking for? Not really. You just said to her, I'm the resurrection of the life. Yep, that's right. And the next part of that is, whoever lives by believing in me will never die. I could have a conversation for an hour on those two verses. Seems like an oxymoron. That's a contradictory. Two different verses saying two different things. But I think I've got them reconciled pretty well. You had a video appointment with your doctor yesterday. It was weird. I'll bet it was. Let's see, that would be very strange. No, he's not trolling. He just has got a long name that makes him seem like what he's saying is trolling, but he's a nice guy. Andrea was was bedbound for a month before her death. She wasn't bedbound. She could get up. She just had belly issues. So she felt like she was constipated all the time, and she had some abdominal pain. And so she was just laying down. She was taking all kinds of herbs for digestion stuff. And so she was just uncomfortable. She would get up sometimes and make dinner and different things. So she wasn't totally bedridden. But she just thought she was constipated really bad. How many drops you typically do a day? What's the amount of drops since all the corona stuff started? I generally try to do 3 or 4 a day. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And I have less calls right now for sure. But I've been doing more remote stuff. And I've been selling more computers. So... You can be here 1 minute and gone to the next. Yep. You like to be the one to start the talking process. Feel a woman be aggressive as you approach you in conversation. No, I don't care either way. Got to find somebody first before you can talk to them. But no, it wouldn't bother me at all. I've had a lot of people want to talk to me. Able to find webcams in stock. I have one webcam on my shelf right now. It's not cheap, but it's there. Oh, congratulations on the new kitty. Chili ramen. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I think I still have some. Where did those weird ramen flavors I got go? I kind of liked it. Do you have a YouTube schedule? No. We just do it whenever we do it. Need to be taking more video. That's maybe more. I'm dropping the ball. We're taking more and more lately, but not taking enough. Any stay-at-home order is really a soft house arrest. We don't have a stay-at-home order, so if you all show up on your front porch, you should give hugs. Well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? How far along was Andrea? She was 13 weeks when we went in and was 14 weeks by the time it was over. Did her fall occur after her pain issues? Not sure if you mentioned the fall or not. What fall? She mentioned she fell getting out of the van at the grocery store. No, it had nothing to do with anything. I think she did fall now that you say that, but it wasn't related to any of her problems. Are the walks still therapeutic? I'll say yes, but it's not really like I feel good. I just feel slightly less bad when I'm walking. Said you do or don't have a lot of people that want to talk to you. There's been a lot of people that have messaged me wanting to talk and possibly pursue things, but long distance is hard, and there's always it's difficult getting that kind of a thing going, and sometimes there's a reason why it's not going to work out. Do you have a last will testament now that it's just you? Yeah, that was one of the first things we did when I got back. She mentioned it before. What symptoms was Andrea feeling before she went to the hospital? Just thought she was constipated. I realize now it was air. Whatever was going on in her body, it was coming out in the form of gas. And so right towards the end, it's like she'd be in so much pain, and she'd have to sit up. She'd give me sit up, and no, and everybody would say, no, you can't sit up, you gotta lay down. And then you'd sit her up, and she would burp for like 10 seconds straight, and then she would feel better, and she'd lay back down. And it was that way over and over and over again. Was Hannah the only home birth? No, we had 4 home births. I think 2 with midwives and 2 by ourselves. How do we know what to do? Because I had Andrea. Andrea could have taught classes on giving birth. So that was actually the book she was going to write, was going to be on unassisted home birth. And she'd watch a million videos. We have all kinds of doctor equipment and everything. She knew everything about everything. I had all kinds of manuals. So also, if she were here, she would say, women have been giving birth by themselves for thousands of years. It's only the last 100 years or so that doctors got involved. And that's when infant mortality went up super high. Women's bodies know how to give birth all by themselves. Thank you, Julie. Yep, she has several videos about home birthing. You can watch clips of me delivering baby Hannah on our channel. Sounds scary to have a home birth. She would say, and I would say, funny how that's changed. We've so given over our authority to other people that now it's scary to not have somebody else help you give birth. When in the reality, it was always been just women giving birth, and doctors weren't involved at all. I think Eden, Sophia, Claudia, and Hannah, I think all the girls were born at home. God bless you. Oh, I see. No, Solly. Yeah, we needed to get a circumcision done. So Solly was born. I don't even remember. You can look at the video. I'm sure there's videos about it. I'm a man. I've got man brain. I'm still reeling from getting all their birthdays in my head. So don't don't quote me too much. Oh yeah, Claudia was born in the hospital. I forgot. Yep, she was. That just shows you. I have a lot of kids, and Solly was, because we had to go do a circumcision at the hospital. We were to show up with a baby. Hey, can you circumcise this baby? So it's expensive to have a home birth with the pool and everything. No way. Super cheap, in fact. Way cheaper than having it in the hospital. All right, chat. Just calm down. Nobody means any harm. I didn't have a home birth. I gave birth with no drugs involved. Well, that's cool. Yeah, their techniques when I was having my daughter. No parents left, so it was just me and my husband. Telling Andrea's words and staying calm and comfortable. Absolutely. That's the whole point with it. With Claudia, they were giving her Pitocin and all kinds of stuff, and she wasn't progressing. She was probably this close to getting a C-section, because that's what they do when you don't progress. But she didn't want to be there. She didn't want to have it in the hospital. Oh, thank you, Lance Milton. That's very kind. She didn't want to be there. And once she decided she was going to do it, that's when she had the baby. She said, "Would you come lay in my bed with me for a little while?" And so I did. And I came back behind her and laid with her, and she relaxed, and then she started having the baby right then and there. If you find someone that wants more kids, would you? I'm sure I would. I love kids. So if I thought about that before, if I find somebody who hasn't had kids yet, or maybe wants to still have more, or who's younger, or whatever, and I'd be sure game to have more kids. Kids are wonderful. Listening to a place very discerning heart on you going forward, waiting for a new relationship. Your family continue to pray and trust him. I try to trust him, Grape Tomato Girl. I fully admit that I'm not very good at it. Yeah, Claudia was born in the hospital, but she wasn't gonna be. We were doing it at home and planning it at home the whole time. It was literally right at the end. She thought Claudia was twins. That's why we were scared. And so we thought they were twins, and twins almost always come early, and she was going late. And so that was scary, and there was a possibility one was laying flat across and was blocking the opening, and this and that. And so we ended up going to a friend of ours who used to, as our midwife, she has a clinic, and was just to give us an ultrasound and tell us it wasn't twins. And yeah, it's a big ordeal. But yes, I misspoke when I said Claudia was born at home. Favorite ice cream flavor? Baskin Robbins, peanut butter and chocolate, by far. Nobody's been able to reproduce it. Actually, I take that back. In the last couple of years, Haagen-Dazs makes peanut butter and chocolate that's exactly the same. Super good. Okay, let's stop. Doesn't matter what happened. Let's just forget it. Is Hannah more like you or Andrea, personality-wise? That's the kind of thing that, again, I'm not good at. Andrea would be like, oh, she's like this and like this and like that. So it's hard to say with the personalities of the little ones, especially the terrible twos. They just want everything. One thing's for sure, she is not afraid of anything. Not afraid of anything. You guys saw the other day when we were at the park, and she just started climbing this ladder, this giant ladder to a slide. We went to the park yesterday. We call it the jail park, and they have a trolley slide, one of those old ones, the metal ones that go down. And she was going up there, and it's all barred in, so it's safe up there. And Thomas was with her, and she just got on the trolley slide and just went. She just went on the slide by herself, all falling down the slide. She got out, and she thought it was great fun. She went up and went down it 2 more times all by herself. She is not afraid. Whereas some of the other kids absolutely are afraid of everything. So, well, hello, Laura. Yeah, Hannah is very advanced. That makes me want to think of Andrea with the no fear. Andrea wasn't afraid of anything. Not like that. Andrea would have been afraid of like jumping off of things or going down scary slides. She was not, but I think she still gets that kind of a view from Andrea. Hey, Abby. Doing all right. I'm a little down, for being honest. Kids are good though. Your favorite books in your Christian library? Oh, for me, it's going to be historic books. The writings of Josephus are very important to me. Writings of Eusebius are really good. I think it was Clement that wrote a book about how false the Roman gods were at the time. Today, we all think the Roman gods are a bunch of jokes. Nobody actually really believes in Zeus and all those guys, but there was a time when they were real. And I think it was Clement of Alexandria that wrote a book saying how terrible they were, even if they were real. And I really like that one too. Claudia seems the most different personality from all your family. They all have different personalities. As they get older, you stop seeing as much of their personalities because they just hide it from you, like all adults do. They tend to hide their personalities more. AC curriculum had Bible lessons included. Oh yeah, pretty much on every page. It's extremely Christian. Did you read Conflict on Lord of the Rings? I didn't read them. I watched the movies. You want to move on to the early church fathers, Chad? That's great. Again, going off of reading pretty much every early church father, I think Eusebius, in my mind, the writings of Eusebius, his 10 books, are probably right up there with Josephus in regards of importance to me. The rest of them are meh. There's some good stuff in there. By the time I got to Augustine, I was sick of it. I didn't want to read any more history. After I got Augustine, I could barely stomach Augustine, to be honest with you. About children with an ADHD. They see my kids have it. I think we were all a lot better when we didn't have diagnoses for everything. In the old days, it was just kids were different. I think a lot of times when you put a diagnosis on somebody, it puts them in a box for the rest of their life that maybe they don't want to be in. Maybe they wouldn't have been in if they hadn't have known. So, why is that? I got a 30-second delay for the people who have hearing impairments, so they can see the closed captioning. So I don't always know what you guys are talking about when you see. I don't remember what I said 30 seconds ago. About to find you live. Oh, hey, Aunt Josie. If they have a disability, did you take them to a specialist, or physically or mentally? I mean, yeah, if there's something wrong, you take them to the doctor. That sounds a little trolly to me. Who was that? Oh, no, I've seen you before. Yeah, Kayla, I think you're right. You know, everybody talks about cancer like it's some sort of new thing. You know what cancer used to be called? It would be, hey, did you hear Bob died? Yep, that's too bad. That was cancer. I almost liked it better. Now you labeled it. Now you can have a fear of it. Kind of like Voldemort. Fear of the name just increases the fear of itself. It was better when people just died, and we didn't have to have a reason for every little thing why you died. No, you're not. You're not. I agree. I'm careful. I didn't. When I saw it was your name, I knew right away you're not a troll. So it's totally fine. Yeah, labels just increase our fear. End of the world video, but he didn't talk about the four horsemen opinion. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I know what the four horsemen of the apocalypse you're talking about. But I think it's funny that everybody talks about the four horsemen in Revelation, but they forget about the four horsemen that are already mentioned in Ezekiel. The same four horsemen were in Ezekiel, and no one ever expects them, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that if we knew where the Bible was coming from, we wouldn't be so concerned. The only things that panic attack, breathing therapy, rushing to helping. Well, that's good. Oh, there, Candace. Good night, Jeannie. Thanks for stopping by. Watched attic storage the other day in the bedroom closet. I had no idea so much stuff was in both. Yeah. Yep. Our attic's redonkulously out of control. Someday, when I get my heart back into a settled place, that's one of the things I'll tackle, is the attic. Probably get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Was it a dash teaching of the Bible or teaching of the 12 apostles? The dash. So that's Greek for teaching. I've heard that word thrown around. I think it's supposed to be the 12 apostles, but I think it's pseudographia. I think it's fake, and so I don't think I read that one. I think that was my decision on that. I'm not saying you shouldn't seek help, and if there's a label, if labeling it helps you, again, I don't know if the label helps, right? What actually helps is now that you know what it is, you know how to treat it, and so that's good, and I would encourage those types of things very much. I'm not saying that you shouldn't find out what's wrong with you. I'm just saying that in the old days, some kids just were different than other kids, and they weren't expected to be the same, and sometimes it can be more harmful. It's not always, though. Well, hey, Carol. Well, thank you, Danielle. It always helps to talk. You agree with most entirety, Dash? I'm not saying I didn't agree with it. That's a totally different question. My question is whether or not it's fake. That was the issue with Hebrews, right? Hebrews was almost not put in the scriptures. It was almost not part of the canon. It was because they didn't know who wrote it. So how can you verify its authenticity and its purpose if you don't know that it's written? Can't wait for you to find the other piece of your heart to see you happy selfishly. Oh, I hear you, Aunt Josie. Me too. You seem to know me pretty well. Well, you do know me pretty well. Impasta. You know what I really liked? Is it Origen who wrote To the Newly Baptized? There's a little paragraph called To the Newly Baptized. Yeah, I don't remember if I've read it. There was one book that I read from the Loeb Library that was it was a whole bunch of stuff. It might have been called Apostolic Fathers, and that's where you have a few letters of Ignatius and a few other random fragments and scraps. The Apostles' Creed might have been in there. I might have read it. So I might be confusing it with something else being called fake. So don't quote me. I know I've heard the name before, and I may have already read it. Homebirth's coming back. Moms are afraid of the hospitals right now. Funny that that's what it takes, but Major Chicken the Captain Crunch. It was delicious. Oh well, good. The kids still play the piano. They still dink around with it. Asher teaches himself quite a bit. Thomas kind of stopped, but they all dink with it and play with it and have fun with it. We made up the Captain Crunch chicken. Did you or Andrea? It was originally my thing. I didn't make it up though. I was thinking about it after I made the video. I think I got it from one of a top secret recipe book. I really enjoyed the top secret recipe books. It probably came from there. What do you use your ranchero cheese for usually? I usually just melt it, warm up some corn tortillas, and roll them up in there, and just eat it just like that. God sends angels as messengers. I know he has messengers that we call angels, and he can do whatever he wants with them. In the New Testament, it says that they could have entertained them without them knowing. So I don't know how we would know if he did. I think I don't think angels are running around doing miracles. I think God does miracles if he wants to do a miracle. But it's not the same type of time we lived in as it is in the Acts of the Apostles in those days. It wasn't not the same time at all. So I think angels are still around. I don't know their purpose or what they do, but I think they're real. Scoop ice cream for the kids today. The regular ice cream come on top with the crunches frosted flakes. Gotta try. Oh, that sounds yummy. What do you think angels look like? Couldn't tell you. We do have a couple places in the Bible where people are seen with gleaming clothes. I think there are cherubs that are seen with wings. That's the description of the ones given on the Ark of the Covenant. But they also they said they could look like people and not even know, so no telling. Oh yeah, there's no point in bringing that quite up. I know what they're talking about when they talk about angels, but you're absolutely right. I don't know about three things. I think angel always means messenger, always. So it's a matter of what context of messenger you're talking about. What's the third thing you're saying there, Chad? Let's see. Well, that's crazy, Kayla. Yeah, the kids have religion as a class. It's part of all their workbooks, they're all Christian workbooks, and so um, they're all woven throughout there. Do I do all the cooking now? Yeah. I help the kids kind of generally get their own breakfasts. I kind of help Hannah get breakfast, and the little girls, Claudia and Sophia, get breakfast sometimes. Asher helps them get breakfast sometimes. Other times they get breakfast on their own. Lunch, they're pretty much on their own for lunch. They make their own lunch. Asher, they all help their buddies get lunch. I make the dinners pretty much all the time. Yeah, all the time I make the dinners, and sometimes the lunches, and sometimes more structured breakfasts. But most of it. Get to the hospital or keep her home. No, I would definitely take her to the hospital. I don't like what if, because there's no way I could have done it differently. The past is the past, and it's how it was going to be. There's nothing I could have done to change it. If I were playing little games, I would have been much more adamant and making them do things. There was a bunch of times we were going to do a test, and they said, we can't get an MRI on the weekend. Nobody works on weekends to do MRIs around here. And so, okay, so I guess we'll have to wait for the weekend. There was a bunch of time that was wasted on nothing. In fact, straight up a week was wasted on nothing out of the 10 days that she was there. And so I would have been much more of an a-hole, basically, to get the stuff needed done in the past. Master with wings like cherub and seraphim. I think number 3 is the same as, it's just messenger. Sometimes people are God's messengers. Sometimes whatever those servant things are are messengers, and we can be God's messengers. They called John the Baptist an angel. John the Baptist is called an angelos in Matthew. I think modern scholars reject the authenticity of the testimony of the Flavinium. The majority of scholars hold it as authentic. Well, Tammy, you got one up on me. I'm not particular with that particular. I'm not familiar with that particular text. As far as the original texts of which one is which, I've only referenced them a few times. I generally go off of Greek Bibles that that already have crossed those bridges and figured out which texts are the right ones and the oldest ones, which one, and they put into a Bible, made a Greek Bible, and then we translate off of that. And so as far as what that text actually has, I think you probably know more than I do on that. I'm interested. You've piqued my intrigue. Yeah, Peter's messenger. Would they call Peter an angel too? That makes sense. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I definitely think, I think in Revelation, I don't think it's necessarily even couriers. I think as to the messenger, I think they're talking to pastors. I think the letters to the 7 churches are not angels with wings, but messengers, the preachers, the leaders of each church. I used to think it was just a courier, but yeah, I used to think it was a courier, but there's some interesting wordings in the Revelation letters that seem to indicate he's talking direct to that person. We can talk about that. Never saw them again. All those things are very curious, Patricia. We never quite know, but God's will is done regardless, isn't it? Yes, we need to do a package over. We're way overdue. We've been doing those on Sundays. Maybe we'll do those soon. You still see your extended family. I don't have a lot of extended family out here. A lot of us in California. Most of them are. That Jesus was the Messiah and a wise teacher was crucified by Pilate. You talking about that spot in Josephus, the edited part? Is that what they call that section? That may be that. Oh, there's that part is actually the original was quoted. I can't remember by who now, but it's preserved in another document. So it's been you can fix the part that was changed about Jesus being the Messiah and Josephus. Yeah, there's no way that Josephus thought Jesus was the Messiah. No way. If that's what we're talking about. Yeah, no way that he thought he was the Messiah. And again, I can't remember now which text it was quoted in. It starts with a P, the guy's name, who quotes that section in his own writings. And so it's the original quote says something along the lines of, there was this man, caused a lot of trouble. Some people thought he was the Messiah. Pilate killed him, basically. That's probably what he said. Chad, the same thing. Angelos is just means messenger. But you know what else just means messenger? Apostolos, apostle. Apostle just means messenger with a commission. So a messenger that has a commission, like not an off-duty messenger, but a guy who's like, here, you need to go give this message to here. That's why the apostles were apostles, because they were given the gospel to go out and they had the commission to go out and do this. But they just mean messenger also. Favorite book in the Bible? That's easy. Ecclesiastes. Because that talks about... Good night, Holly. Thanks for hanging out with me a little bit. The kids learn Greek or another language. We were doing Greek in school. One sent out. Not just one sent out, though. One sent out with a message. You got to have the commission. It's not just one who was sent. But again, that's 3 words to do 1 word. Yeah, it's definitely distinct from angel. But it's in the same vein for sure. In fact, there's a verse that says, When that verse where John the Baptist is called an angelos, he says, I will apostolou angelos. So I will apostle my angel. They actually, both words are right there, calling John the Baptist both of those things. He was sent with a message. So he was a messenger who was sent with a message. Hello, Christine. Can you not hear me? What is the Greek word for prophet? Prophetes. It's actually a Greek word already. We should fear God or respect His wishes. I think it's the same thing. We could have a good conversation about fear there. I think fear and respect, respect, fear, and regular fear are the same kind of fear, just in different parts. Yeah, exactly, Chad. Lifting some of this visitor limits. Oh, really? What state do you live in again, Kayla? Josephus mentioned him not in the Bible. Who was he? Just a writer, observer? He was just a Jew. He was just a non-Christian Jew who was a historian hired by the Romans to write a history. Perfect love casts out fear. Yeah, but it's a different kind of fear. I mean, it's all fear. Well, we could talk about that all day. Hope I can avoid the snacks. I can't avoid the snacks. I'm going to snack here in about a half an hour. Oh, Australia. Oh, I see. I'm so ignorant about Australia. I'd love to go someday. Messenger of God to show the support of the needy, like standing at a person of encouragement and facing the problems together. Yeah, that's good. It's the definition of prophet. Well, prophetes is, I think it's transliterated. No, actually it's not. I think it's all Greek. But in the old days, remember they called them seer for a while, then they called them prophet. Maybe it is transliterated. I can't recall. You think he was the wormwood? Yeah, maybe. There's definitely some interesting things about Josephus, for sure. Did you ever consider becoming a pastor of a church like your stepdad? I'm kind of a pastor of our home church. I don't really want to be in a place of... I'd like to be able to teach people and help people learn and more cause conversations to happen. I don't want to be a leader of anything. I think it's a bad precedent for one man to get up and talk and 99 people to sit there and just shut up and listen to you. I don't agree with that model. Well, hey, Maggie, good to see you. Ogden made a case for Josephus being wormwood. Could be. A lot of people like to hate on Josephus, especially the part of him being in the well, and they do the little lots being cast for him to escape, and he's the one that gets out. Some people say that that's all been faked, and there's a reason why it happened. There's no doubt he tells lies, but is it funny that him not being a Christian makes his story more authentic and more believable? I think it definitely does. But, oh man, you talked, and 500 of us listen to you. Yeah, but we're talking back and forth, see? You're asking some questions, and I talk, and you suggest things, and I'm more than happy to tell you guys if you got something I don't got, or if you got a good point that I haven't thought of before. I've thought of a lot of points, and so maybe I have more to share, but I very much want it to be a back and forth, iron sharpening iron, not iron banging on the wall, you know. The difference between using the term angel over messenger? No, in fact, we shouldn't have the word angel. Shouldn't have it. It shouldn't exist. It was ripped out of the Greek, taken right out, angelos. I saw an angelos on the stone, and they translate every word in that sentence except angelos. And we took that, and we made it be angel. A white being with wings strums a harp. That's now what that means. We've redefined it. We've whipped that word out of Greek, redefined it as an English word, angel. So it should be a messenger. If I had my way, In fact, when I was starting my own translation of the Bible actually, and that's how I would translate it. Every single time angelos was used, I would translate it as messenger. I would rather have it that way, and then we can have a conversation about, do you suppose that was one of God's messengers, like he sent with the cherubs and all that, or do you suppose that was a human being? I would rather have that conversation, because there's many places, like in Revelation, with the letters of the 7 churches, where it talks about the angel of the church of this, the angel of the church of that, and I'm convinced, it's a messenger to the church, either a courier or more likely the preacher or leader of that church. You're more appreciative of that, all that Andrea did for you and the kids now that you are doing it all. Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely more appreciative. Oh my gosh, Chad. I would say wash every time, for sure. What's that? Yeah, we did. Well, I did the Bible study. Now I'm just doing this. I'm about to wrap it up right now, though. Here in a minute. Asher's here, and he wants to probably watch some stuff, and I'd like to watch stuff with him, too. So a different kind of church, Tom. It'll be awesome. People are longing for that. Oh, yeah, I'm all for it. A giant Bible study. There's actually people that do things like that. If you look at Francis Chan, there's a video by Francis Chan on YouTube, Why I Left My Megachurch. And he gives his little testimony how he was in a megachurch and realized this is a bunch of garbage. And he's doing something similar to this. The problem is you can't have 1,000 people in a room all trying to talk and share back and forth. You can't do it. And so you have to limit it. So I think it goes down to 15 or 20 people. In the old days, in the 80s, they called them cell group churches, that type of a thing. And I think that's a good way to do things. See, Ann, how'd you feel if your kids were interested in a different religion, or their spouse was a different religion? Well, they're going to do whatever they are. Each kid has their own responsibility to be their own person. I think that we've taught them about all the other religions. My kids can defend their faith, and I think you should believe what you believe, because you not just blindly. You should make sure it's the right thing. And so I think we've already gone over all that stuff. If they were to change, then hopefully they'd have a good case. How is your daughter that takes care of your aunt? You're talking about my daughter being taken care of by my aunt? She's doing okay. I haven't got to see her much. I think she's closed in with all this coronavirus stuff. Recommendations on lighter theology books. Lighter theology books may have read surprisingly like textbooks. I'm wanting something to be more enjoyable. You want something enjoyable, you should read Josephus. Josephus is so enjoyable. I can't put it down. There's one by Paul Maier, M-A-I-R, Paul Maier. Anyways, Paul Maier called the Josephus the Essential Writings. It might be out of print, but you can still find it in Amazon and different places. And it's got pictures, and there's stories you've never heard all about the Bible. And it's great. Like Josephus was a man who wrote 2 books. One called Antiquities, one called the Jewish War. The Jewish War covers the destruction of Jerusalem AD 70. Antiquities he says he was just compiling in Greek the holy books of his day. And he has stories of Moses as a military general in there. There's a story of Moses sieging, who became a general of Pharaoh's army, and sieging this one place. It had only one spot where you could attack, and it was covered by all these snakes that were in this field, so no one would go there. And they took birds, ISIS birds, and put them in baskets, and the birds ate the snakes, and then they sieged the city from the back, and all kinds of fun stories that you never knew existed. And it's so enjoyable. as far as theology books, that's a problem because you're having somebody's opinion on it, and maybe they're right on things, maybe they're wrong on things. So I like to go to first-hand sources. In fact, you will seldom find me listening to random preachers because, I mean, if I'm going to listen to something, I'm going to read something, I might as well read the original, read the Bible and just stick with that. Learn that inside and out. And, anyways, with first-hand sources like Josephus, which is really interesting. Well, I think we'll wrap this up here just pretty quick. I don't partake in that one. What's that going on? Oh, what did Chad tell her? Do you tithe at home church or just give individual family organizations, charities of your choosing? We have a pretty different view on that sort of a thing. The actual idea of tithing is an Old Testament thing that I believe isn't in place anymore. So there's no set limit. There's not 10%, I don't think. Maybe it should be more than that. Maybe it'll be less than that. Maybe, however. I think we should be generous with our money whenever God gives us an opportunity to be generous. And so I give away audio Bibles to people, and if I see someone who needs money, I can give them money. They may not even know it's them from me. And I try to take care of people and give things away as much as I can. I think it's just good to be generous with our fellow man. I personally, we have not enjoyed giving money necessarily to a place that just goes to administrative costs, paying light bills and gas bills. All those things are necessary. But of course, if we were meeting in homes and small groups, all teaching each other, you wouldn't have near as many bills. I once went to a church where they had a fund because their new front doors that they were going to put on the church were $35,000 for the front doors, and that always struck with me. And I was like, "There's $35,000 front doors. I mean, is that absolutely necessary?" And I don't know. I don't feel comfortable giving my money, thinking I'm giving it to God for things like that. So I just assume be generous to people whenever we can.
No, it's just all messed up.
We were talking about that in our study. Yep, I think I'll probably log out, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and it's very nice to have you guys talk to. I very much appreciate it. And we'll do it again soon. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, you should be subscribed. Shame on you. Go subscribe. And give us a like while you're at it. It does help the channel a lot. So I will talk to you guys later. See you soon.